for so many years, the name K-bar has been synonymous with one blade, the K-bar USMC, a blade that has proven itself in war. Sometimes a long-established company can become complacent and maybe try to cruise along on its name. You know, this video, it's not going to be a fanboy video. I'm going to try to give you all the information, both positive and negative. Okay, and I just realized I had one knife that was off to the side that I didn't put in the shot. It was the Johnson potbelly, so there it is, better late than never. I have a lot of use on that potbelly knife. It is full tang, it is very tough. I will include a link to the individual reviews of these blades if I have them, and it took a lot of abuse and kept on ticking. As far as the orangutan, it's a mixed bag. Is it impressive? Yes. Is it cool? Yes, but you know, it's part of the expensive machete trend. Those are my most used. All right, on the right, the K-bar heavy Bowie, right, and then the BK5 and the BK9. About that heavy Bowie, it has served me very well. There's a lot of wear and tear on it, as you can see. I have seen other reviewers that had worse luck with that heavy Bowie, a couple breakages, and these were very reputable reviewers, people I know. So I just want to give you a heads up. Even though my personal experience with that heavy Bowie has been extremely positive, some of them have had some problems, and you can look up those videos and do your own research on YouTube. As for the BK9 and BK5, the BK9, everyone knows about that. It's an epic knife, strong reputation. The BK5, not as well known, but it is one of my favorites. It's 8 inches itself. It's not that much shorter than the BK9. Love the blade shape, lends itself to slicing. On the right is their war sword, what they call their war sword. It's actually extremely similar to my Ontario Night Stalker 9. Right next to that is their Tanto. Now Tanto, an unconventional choice as far as a camp knife or a bushcraft knife, but I found that it kind of works like a sharpened pry bar mini machete. I found it can take a lot of abuse because of that. You see how low that bevel is? There's just a lot of metal there. And I actually have a lot of use on that Tanto, so it's not just a zombie gimmick, that one. I can vouch for that. Next to that is the cleaver. It's actually very similar in shape to a cane machete, a machete used to harvest sugar cane. And that little fixed blade is a K-bar TDI, very popular with law enforcement. It's used mainly, well, for utility, but also for weapon retention. The shape of it is designed to basically cut the arm or the hand of someone trying to acquire your firearm. In the foreground, you see one of their hunting knives. I will put the model number in the text description box. It's a very nice knife because with a 7-inch clip point, it's basically a civilian version of a USMC K-bar. And to the left, we have some folders. What? K-bar makes folders? A lot of people don't even know that. Yes and no. I mean, these are basically low-priced, China-made folders that are just stamped out over there, and K-bar just puts their brand name on them. And there you see K-bar's take on a kukri, or kukuri. They've changed the shape a little. They flared it out a lot. All right, and the inner curve is a lot more gradual. It can serve as a hatchet replacement or a short machete. And in that same line, you see their cutlass. Now, it's a shorter cutlass, and you know, it uses the same type of handle, right, as their kukri. And it's basically a medium to heavy short machete. Two smaller K-bars there, the Becker Necker, right? A very famous little neck knife. One of the strongest competitors to the Essie Izula. Yeah, that's a very popular blade. You can't go wrong with either of those for the fixed blade neck knife option. Right, and behind that, BK is at the 15, but it's one of the mid-sized Beckers. As you can see, the curve of the blade kind of very similar to the curve on the Magnum Camp, the BK5, kind of like a mini version of the BK5. It's a handy little mid-sized blade. So, quick and dirty, which ones would I most highly recommend? The Potbelly Johnson knife, I would recommend. The BK9, of course. The BK5, of course. That Zombie Tanto, I'd recommend. the heavy Bowie, the war sword, the Becker Necker, and the TDI blade. And of course, the ultimate recommendation, the K-Bar USMC. That's just mandatory. If you're into cutlery, you need to have one. I don't care if you don't go camping, maybe you live in a city, you're not going to war. It doesn't matter. Mandatory, you have to have one if you're into cutlery. Here's a closer look at some of the sheaths. Now, some of the sheaths I would describe as minimalistic, okay, minimalistic. On their hunting knife, it's pretty much as simple as it comes. The USMC K-Bar there, no, it's just a very simple leather sheath. Those sheaths there are also just very plain, and those have a leather backing, okay, so it's kind of a composite sheath, right? Leather on that side, and thicker nylon there. The sheaths on those Becker knives are pretty good. They're not oversized, they fit pretty well. Another one completely minimalistic. And then these Zombie series knives, their sheaths are very bulky because they all have like a huge secondary pocket, so a little bit of a kind of a monstrosity there, but useful if you do want to include a whole like survival kit in your sheath. The sheath for that potbelly is pretty good. I like it. The sheath for that the smaller Becker, pretty good. Yeah, so overall, yeah, I mean, if I had to average these together, I would give them a solid B in the sheath department. Okay, well, I do hope you're enjoying the video. I'm going to try to do more of these type of videos. I am a user and a collector. Collector is not a dirty word. Okay, you can be both. And being a collector allows me a unique opportunity to show you many, many different blades, right, from one company, and then you can pick and choose and look up the individual reviews for what suits your needs. Okay, now a uncomfortable topic, the topic of breakages. As I said, there's a couple videos showing breakages of the heavy Bowie, and there are several videos showing breakages of the USMC K-Bar. Okay, well, some of those issues might have been some heat treatment problems. It happens, but some of those breakages were from batoning. Here's the thing, the USMC, it has what's called an encapsulated tang or a stick-shaped tang, meaning the tang is more narrow than the blade itself. And that's on purpose. Part of that is because they want it to be top-heavy. They want it to have that type of balance, and they want it to be lighter overall. There's nothing wrong with that kind of tang, but just the laws of physics, a more narrow tang, right, is not going to be as strong as if the tang had been wider, and a true full tang, meaning you can see it all the way around between handle scales. And that's just laws of physics. It's still a great knife. And the bottom line is that if you want to baton with a blade, K-Bar has numerous true full tang knives. Those BK knives, that potbelly, that Tanto, most of the ones I recommended. So if you're going to baton, just choose the right blade for the job. Okay, bottom line, let's talk about value. Does K-Bar offer good value for your dollar? Generally, yes. Aside from a few cases like, for example, that Orangutan is a bit overpriced, but generally they give you good bang for the buck. That kukri and that cutlass, they're not perfect, but for their prices, they are very good. With that type of handle, with hard use, the blade can come loose from the handle, but as I said, price considered, those are very good. The BK series, little more expensive than some of their stuff, but worth it. Definitely worth it. Some of their Zombie stuff, yes, it is overpriced. If you want that pirate-looking sword, it's going to be pretty expensive. But generally, if you pick and choose, the majority of the time, you will get high value with K-Bar. Their quality on most of their blades is medium to high, and their pricing is medium to high. Alright, so makes a lot of sense. Stay tuned for many more videos of all sorts. This has been We All Juggle Knives. I'm out.